Hey Settlers, I'm your host Ben, and here is a story that I think needs telling. Welcome to Unsettled in the Cotswolds. The true story of the Bisley lantern. Some stories belong to the landscape. In Bisley, a quiet, wooded village on the edge of the Cotswolds, is a sort of story that whispers to the newcomers at the bar or the Bear Inn, or swapped between teenagers as the last bus rolls out of the village at dusk. It's called the Bisley Lantern. On foggy autumnal nights, when the world seems to shrink to the circle of your torch beam, some people claim to see lights drifting through the woods just east of the old well. It's never bright, just a faint, otherworldly bobbing, a shimmer that dances between the trees. Sometimes it floats, sometimes it hovers near the ground. No one's ever really managed to catch up with it, but some have indeed tried. They say the lantern is always green, never white, never gold, green as foxglove stems on the pond of the manor on a rainy day. If you do follow it, it might lead you to something you've lost. But here's the warning. You'll never get it back quite the way you expected. Kids in Bisley have dared each other for years, sometimes out of bravado, sometimes out of desperation. One night, is a lost mobile phone, the next a missing dog, a lucky coin, a friendship locket, even an old grudge. Some of them come back with what they're looking for. Most don't talk about what else they saw in the woods. There's a story of Benji Parsons, a real name, ask any older local. Back in the late 90s, Benji lost his granddad's old watch, a family heirloom handed down from generations. His mates egged him on to go look for it when the lantern was seen one foggy October. Benji slipped out after dinner, boots caked in mud, heart pounding. He saw the lantern, just like in the stories, gliding through undergrowth, too slow to be a bike light, too steady for a torch. He followed it, eyes stinging in the mist. The world shrunk to that glowing green bob. For a while he thought he lost it, but there, underneath the hawthorn tree, the lantern hovered, and at its base Benji found the watch, glinting with dew. He was lucky, you might think, except the watch hand spun backwards, and no matter how many times it wound, it never kept time again. Benji's family stopped passing the watch down after that moment. Then there's Elizabeth Wren, known as Lizzie. Her story passed from the playgrounds at Bisley Bluecoat School. Lizzie's cat, a grey tabby called Buttons, went missing one September. Her parents told her that the cat would come back, but Lizzie wasn't so sure. When she heard about the lantern, she crept out, braving the mist and the chill, searching the woods as the green light danced ahead. She says she saw something strange. Her cat, but not quite her cat. Buttons had always been grey, but the animal Lizzie found beneath the green glow was pure white, with one green and one gold eye. It purred, answered to Buttons, slept on her bed, but never seemed to blink. The story goes, years later, every time someone in Bisley lost a pet, Lizzie would warn, "If you find the lantern, be careful what you bring home." But the strangest account comes from a retired teacher named Mrs. Judith Holloway. In the 1970s, when she first started teaching in Bisley, Mrs. Holloway moved into a rented cottage on the outskirts of the woods. One night after parents' evening, she realized she'd lost her house keys. Not wanting to trouble anyone, she decided to retrace her steps. It was a foggy night, the air thick, the moon just a pale blur behind clouds. As she walked the edge of the woods, she saw the green lantern bobbing through the trees. Curiosity, maybe a bit of that, new to the village bravado, got the better of her, and she followed. The further she walked, the quieter the world became. She says the silence was so complete, she could hear her own heartbeat. Then the lantern stopped in a clearing she'd never seen before. On the ground, her lost keys resting on a patch of bare earth. She picked them up, turned, and started back towards the cottage. But the woods felt wrong. Paths twisted, familiar trees seemed out of place. When she emerged, dawn was breaking, and she stood in front of a house she didn't recognize. A house that, years later, would be built on the very edge of Bisley, on land that was wild when she first arrived. Mrs. Holloway insisted she never spoke of the lantern again, but every year, on foggy nights, she leaves her keys safely by the door. Ask 10 people in Bisley about the lantern, and you'll get 10 theories. Some say it's a will-o'-the-wisp, a trick of the light, marsh gases from the old Roman wells located nearby. Others swear it's a ghost, maybe the spirit of a lost traveller, doomed to wander until someone finds out what he never did. A few even claim it's time itself, unspooling in the woods for those who dare to chase after what's gone. What everyone agrees on is this: if you see the lantern, think carefully about what you're looking for. You may find it, but it won't be quite as you remember. The woods around Bisley hold more than trees and old secrets. If you find yourself there on a foggy night and you glimpse a flicker of green among the branches, ask yourself, what have you lost? And do you really want it back? We've all lost something in our time. I think we can all agree we have all lost something in our time. Precious things, items, to loved ones themselves. If we were to get these things back, would they be as you remember them? Have we moved on? We wouldn't be the same as when they or the items that had left us. So is this a classic interpretation of loss? Maybe, but the moral of the story is, keep whatever you hold dear closest to your heart.